we have to start with just paying our respects to the king who died over the weekend.
Olivia.
Natural causes
took. Right.
I found out today it was Regis Philbin died of natural causes. He was 88. I got to tell you something. He was a great guy. And every time, I was never on Live with Regis and Kelly with him, but he certainly knew that I was Kelly's friend. And I filled in for him, I think, a couple times when he was still doing the show. Maybe once or twice. And by the way, I was so nervous the first time I sat in that chair. That show has meant so much to me over the years. I mean, I used to love watching Regis and Kathy Lee.
Oh, so
and then I loved watching Regis and Kelly, and I just marveled at how brilliantly she did with him and how great they were together. And so when I finally did sub on that show, the idea of being there and sitting in the chair and doing the whole thing, I mean, it just felt like such a big deal to me. And I think it was around that time that he announced that he was leaving. And I remember soon after he was on Letterman, and Letterman said, "Who do you think should replace you?" And he, out of the blue, I was one of the couple of names that he said. And he said, "Oh, he's such a nice guy and he's friends with Kelly." And I just thought that was so generous of him and kind, and I just didn't have a connection with him. So
there's no one
I didn't
that
have a
hates
personal I didn't have a
people
personal
love him.
relationship. Besides being fans with him, but in terms of what he did on television, I just think he and Kathy Lee really invented that format of sitting there and talking about what you did the night before. And he was such a great storyteller.
Yeah.
And he just had such a funny way of telling stories, and he was he balanced between kind of being the butt of the jokes and being, the king. He portrayed himself as the king. And
he set people up to give a good joke.
He did that, but he also he portrayed himself to be kind of the king, and he was hosting Millionaire, and he was also, he's like the king of New York City, but then also he could totally poke fun at himself, and there was always shit going wrong on that show, and he just was brilliant at bringing you in and wanting to hear what he had to say. And in terms of being in New York City, he was everywhere. He was, you would go to a movie premiere, there was Regis. You would go to a hot restaurant, there was Regis and Joy. He was kind of ubiquitous, and he also loved it. He loved being on TV. I happen to love being on TV. I think it's super fun, and I love how much he loved it, and he loved being Regis. And it was kind of infectious.
It sounds like you're describing yourself in many ways, and in a good way. It's a compliment.
I mean, I'm not meaning to compare myself to
No, but you are like
that would be
you
very
are at everything.
self-centered of me.
You enjoy going to,
Right.
a hot
Yeah, I mean, I
restaurant,
think
as you put it.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you say that
It's nice.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was certainly kind of a role model for me, and someone that, I mean, I remember when I was growing up, I used to say, I thought I wanted to be in TV news, but in my mind, I just wanted to be able to be myself on TV. And I didn't know what that format was, but on a morning show, that would kind of lend itself to being that. And then when Regis came on with Kathy Lee, here he was being himself. This was a guy who was just being himself on TV. So,
well, look, if there's
yeah,
anyone to emulate, it really is Regis.
It's true. It's true. But he was, I mean, I have to say, he just also, just personally, he was always so kind to me every time I saw him. I mean,
did you guys ever
always,
do it?
He always said the nicest things to me and was just very complimentary. And it just always meant the world to me. You know, I was someone who had worked in TV for a long time behind the scenes, but then to come in front of the camera later in your career and have him be kind to me about it was really nice. It was just really nice. So, rest in peace, Regis Philbin. What a guy.
R.I.P.
What a broadcaster.